these viewers just jump on so quickly these days. I remember the old days when I could fly for hours and not get one person watching. Now I don't even have a chance to get set up. Anyway, we're nearly there. Got all the necessary supplies. Telephone. Emergency communication device. I don't think, I doubt very much we've got any Android control here, so I'll just go with that for now. I was hoping to hear this new improved air traffic control sound, but anyway, I'll get it one day soon, I reckon. Go for that view while I do this mucking around. So we're somewhere in Brazil. Oddly enough, don't need to know where. Just need to know all these numbers and letters. SBGO. Be good to know the weather too, I guess. But have to take a punt on that. Yeah, worn its usefulness now already. I don't believe this managed to get turned on yesterday. Can't believe it. Incredible. I tried for days and days and days to turn this tablet on, and somehow Ramel jumps in here and goes poof, and up it comes like the magic finger. Get out of here. It's going to be a Boca 2 Alpha off. Oh, there you go, runway 15, problem solved. Go to TU, no doubt. UZ25 UZ25 Corvo. Cruise 32,000. $200. Zero fuel weight. Boom, flaps 5. Okay, well, that's pre-flight complete. That's all happy, joy. So we'll go over here, and actually, just before I do that, I'm just going to put a flight into here. Gives me a chart. BKB. Campinas. I said, hang on, I don't believe I just said that, but it looks like Campinas to me, Brazil. S B G. Sounds like one of those school camps I didn't go on. That. So seriously, who have we got watching this evening? Just send us a simple little text will do. Just say hello. So, taxi. only really doing this just so I know where I am relative to runway 15. Maybe change this more out of that. Yeah, okay, that's alright. That's all happy, happy, joy, joy. There. No, not going to send a text. It's going to be all spooky. Fair enough. So we'll be pushing back then in that case. Interesting to note we're at 2,100 feet above sea level already, and we haven't even taken off yet. Okay, so packs are off. That's on. Starting engine 2. Some fuel into that puppy. Your damp can go on while we're waiting for this engine to rev up. Seatbelt signs can go on too, I guess. Okay, starting engine 1. Fuel into that. Generally permitted. Okay, so engine generators on. Bleeds on. Packs can go back to auto. The APU bleed off and the APU itself can go off. We're kind of, yes, we're kind of ready for taxi now while she does the safety features of this aircraft demonstration thingo. Ah! So my blood pressure. Just don't do much. Okay, I'm going back that way. Plug out of the battery? What do you think? I'm a bloody electrician. Just on a plane. I'm just a passenger on a plane. By the way, exit. Let me guess. Yeah. I'd say it is. One of your flight. You're the only flight attendant here, Karen. All I know is runway 15's down that way somewhere. Good. here for a sec. Take some fire alfalfa. Seem to be any more traffic around, so I reckon we may as well just go for it. Seriously going for it here.
V1.
Hey, we're out of here. Positive rate. One.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
2500.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
This be a good front view, I reckon.
Bank
Like that.
angle. Bank angle.
Yeah, definitely remain seated. Definitely remain seated at this stage. Now you tell me. Hire crew. Yeah, good point. Won't unlock the passengers just yet. I'm still hand flying in foreign skies like this. blame me. You're skinning this cat. Just going to go altitude intervention there with that airspeed low little problem. Let's back off our rate of climb just a tad. Good evening, viewers. Got a couple of people joined us now. Just trying to type in this stupid tablet. Can't get that right either. Yeah, someone send a chat message so I can respond to it. Okay, we're just buzzing around in Brazil this evening. Never done this flight before in my life. Just ripped it off from someone else that was doing it online and thought, oh, that looks interesting, I'll go with that. This is pretty cool. I'm enjoying this little trip. Where the fuck are we? Hang on, let's have a look. Holy moly. Who'd have ever thunk it? Yeah, we did have someone ask last night on the feed, do you ever fly in Brazil? I thought, oh well, may as well. Let's do some flying in Brazil. Good suggestion. Rivals. Oh, they're all unabs. Ooh, 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 out of my comfort zone. All unab rivals. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch an arnab by the toe. Got no idea of the weather. I suppose I could check, couldn't I? For once in my life, I could actually bother to check the weather. It's almost be a first. Go there. Where's the station? Next. Next. Broken 1,000 feet. Temperature this. Dew point day. No participation. Precipitation. Altimeter 1019. And that's all it tells us. Wind 084 at 3 knots. 084. Well, that'd give me runway 14, if that's the weather that we had at our arrival airport. Let's go with that. See what happens. U04 there and steps through that. Oh, big turn at the end there, but we can handle that. Nice, and just remembering our landing altitude is about 2,500 feet too. Worth remembering that. Alright, cool, bananas. See what this baby can do. Oh, I didn't think of them. Feel free to walk around the cabin. Oh, 258 from top of descent. I might have a nap. Here we go. Karen trying to flog shit again. Duty free shop. It's not our duty free shop. It's Karen's duty free shop. Don't listen to her. Okay, got an extra viewer watching me staring at my phone. But mind you, that's what real pilots do. So welcome to the real world. Oh look, there goes my phone again. Probably says turn your phone off. Could interfere with the equipment. Could interfere with the equipment on board the aircraft. The navigation system could go ratchet. And while we're in the cruise, normally on this feed, we're happy to field questions about any sort of life problems you might be having, relationship issues, cooking. Ever wondered how to cook a particular thing? We can probably help you out with that. We tell you what the hell an aubergine is, or things like that. Did you know that tiny teddies have all different faces? Probably never knew that. Shouldn't eat them anyway, but they do have all different faces apparently. Now I know some babies are born addicted to heroin because their mothers are unfortunately addicted to heroin, that sort of thing, but when I was about 13 years old, I had this craving, absolute die-hard craving for mint sliced biscuits. And I used to beg my mother, just buy another packet of mint slices every week. I'd eat the whole packet when she'd get home. And a couple of years later, she admitted to me that when she was pregnant with me, she ate, well, in the old money, a pound, like a big, like a 1 pound pack, a few kilos of mint sliced biscuits when she was pregnant with me. And that manifested itself when I was about 14 years old. And today, I still can't pass can't go past a mint sliced biscuit. So there is something in that. Well, I guess there's something in that. Might be total coincidence, I don't know. In any case, here we are, floating over Brazil. Not a care in the world. Hardly a cloud in the sky except for that one we're about to run into. See, that's something I'm working on. I'm going to get the weather radar panel working so that I can actually tilt the radar down, because we're probably above that cloud so it doesn't come up on our weather radar. If I now just change it and hit weather radar, so you don't see anything. Whereas if we could tilt that radar down, we'd probably be able to see that cloud, although we can see it anyway. It's like one lone cloud, isn't it? No precipitation around, but one big black cloud. Tricky as. Wow, we've got actually someone watching on Facebook, which is pretty unusual, to be honest. Oh no, it looks like YouTube. God, YouTube. We've got a YouTube viewer. Hey, how you going? That's pretty unusual. We do get these weird comments on the YouTube feed from people that are obviously trying to peddle pornography to people. And most days after we've done a feed, someone comments on the feed, which is kind of funny when you just say, oh, we just flew a plane from here to here, and someone comments on your YouTube channel and says, oh, you like girls, we got lots of naked girls, click on here, yeah, anyway, it's kind of funny really. Makes me giggle anyway. Yeah, that's going to work. Nobody looks at their YouTube channel anyway, so they're barking up the wrong tree right from the word go. Okay, well look, I reckon, just the kind of guy I am, I reckon I could give myself some track shortening, given that it's probably all the air traffic controllers in Brazil are sound asleep right now. I drop that up there. We can just go fang a bit of a left here. I could even give myself an extended downwind leg. Really, couldn't I? I reckon when ready, descend about 4,500. About 5,000, I reckon. Well, we're only about a month out from this bloody event, you realise? It's a good point. Date today, 11th. What, Ross? Ross, what? What was the other thing? Hey, Salt Rock. I'm assuming Salt Rock is Salt Rock. How you going, Salt Rock? Thanks for joining. We're just doing a bit of a flight in Brazil this evening. How you doing? You going well? Do you do a bit of flight simming yourself, or is this just you're just browsing along? Yeah. Oh, look, I'm fine. We're doing great here. What are we? We're about 97 mile from our top of descent into, I'm not too sure where, but it's in Brazil somewhere. Now I'll just show you the map. maybe you can help us. Um, yes, are you a flight simmer, or you like watching flight simming, or you're just cruising around on Twitch seeing what's available? Oh, okay. Well, you've come to an interesting channel here, I tell you. Probably not so interesting here when I'm here on my own, but when there's a bunch of us here, it tends to be a laugh a minute. There's Captain Plod. How you going, Captain Plod? Good to see another couple of viewers. There's Salt Rock's just joined us. Salt Rock as opposed to rock salt. Whereabouts are you from, Salt Rock? Where are you viewing from? You're in the UK. Yeah, he's Himalayan. No, he's UK Salt Rock. Which part of the UK? It's a big place. It's almost like New South Wales or something. Which part of the UK? I've driven all over the UK. Not every inch of it, but I missed a little bit on the eastern side there, but most of it I've driven over, around. Got stuck on some friggin' roundabouts in the UK, I can tell you. What do you call them? Rotaries. Rotaries, not roundabouts. Am I right? You call them rotaries in the UK? It is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, actually. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very little time in Wales, I must say. really, really just drove flat out to the to the airport. Got drunk at the airport and got out of there. But so it didn't really do Wales any real justice. Won't be going back to Bari anytime soon. But yeah, just got ourselves to Cardiff Airport and got out of there. No, they're roundabouts. Okay, because I know when we rented a car, um, and the GPS in the car kept telling me, and I know we were in um, England at the time, so the GPS had a, a British accent. The girl on the GPS had a British accent, but she referred to a roundabout as a rotary. You know, it was always sort of at the rotary, take the third exit, blah blah blah. You know, at the rotary. At the rotary, can you just call it a roundabout? Like, we've never heard it called a rotary before. And see, to us, we have a rotary clothesline. So it sounds to me like, you know, at the clothesline. Well, Cardiff Airport, it's fine as far as airports go. Very helpful staff, yada yada yada. But the aircraft we were meant to get on had engine problems. It was an Embraer, I don't know what, and literally had engine problems. And our flight was delayed like 3 or 4 hours, like crazy, 3 or 4 hours, and we just sat and drank. Not something we normally would do, but yeah. Hey, that's the 787 Centuri. Good evening. We're flying around in Brazil today, just for something different. But yeah, so anyway, we sat and drank and drank and drank, and obviously they weren't going to fix this plane, and the aircraft we got on is absolutely true. We were booked. It was an Aer Lingus flight because we were going to Ireland, and I've got photographs of this aircraft. Oh, you finished it? Ah, good man. Somewhere I've got photographs of this aircraft, um, and it was liveried out. It was painted white. The whole thing had been stripped of any sign of a livery, and we had to walk across the tarmac to get onto the plane. So I had the opportunity to take some photos, even though it was semi-dark. But this thing was supposed to be an Aer Lingus flight, but this plane was just white. The whole thing was just vanilla. And I kid you not, um, this thing, I reckon it was pulled out of a boneyard, resurrected, flown from Ireland over to Cardiff to pick us up and go back to the boneyard in Ireland. It was, it felt like, it sounded like, everything was wrong about it. It felt like it was falling apart. Um, and if it's any indication, I was even checking it myself. I was putting my hand down between sort of the cushion and the frame of my seat and the wall, the inside lining of the aircraft, and I could feel that it was going from squeezing my hand to, say 10 centimetre gap, to squeezing my hand to a 10 centimetre gap, like the whole thing was breathing. Yeah, flexing, whatever you want to call it, but it was like I just let me out. I got out and almost kissed the ground. So, strangely enough, we were anaesthetised enough to get by with that flight. But honestly, I've got photographs of that plane somewhere, and it had no livery at all. It's like it had already been stripped, and they hadn't quite pulled the windscreen out and taken the engines off, and they've gone, oh yeah, we can use this one as a replacement. Yeah, it was, you know, yeah. Apart from the first 2 minutes on an aircraft in my life, and that time, I've never really been scared of flying. Apart from that time, and that's the other thing that was really noticeable about that flight, is I don't know what their normal cruise level was, but we could virtually see the ground and see the water for that whole trip. Yeah, no joke. It the whole thing just felt wrong. The whole thing felt wrong. And it felt like they didn't go over about 4,000 or 5,000 feet. Where they probably ordinarily should have. Oh, you did encounter that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Break through the engineering bay to replace some onboard documents. Oh no, really? Oh. But honestly, I had the presence of mind enough to think, this doesn't seem right. This just isn't right. Before we even got on it, what airline in the world doesn't want to advertise, for starters? Like, what? Why would you be flying any aircraft that didn't have your brand all over it? My supervisor was, what? Like, don't look down the aisle. Oh no. Oh no. Fair dinkum. If anyone screams, just ignore them. No. Very creepy. Well, this was, honestly, it was like this. It's like the body of this plane was breathing, you know? Yeah, I just thought, oh, this does not seem right. Although my wife, in her earlier life, before we met, has been on aircraft where the seats are actually loose. In Africa somewhere, she'd been on aircraft where you could actually rock your seat up and back, on the bolts to the floor. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But true, absolutely true. No reason to doubt her. Mind you, like I always kind of think, and I mean, I know it does. There's no excuse for the the incredible slackness that we're talking about, but I always sort of think that um, that one thing that makes you sort of feel comfortable is most airliner type aircraft, and most aircraft really, they are over engineered, like well and truly over engineered, aren't they? Or tell me they are. But like a plane like this 737-800, you can go inverted in this. You can do aerobatics almost in the thing. Um, yet yet the aircraft doesn't, in its normal life, doesn't need to do any of that. So they're always operating way below what they're capable of, but they're probably way above um, what a normal passenger would feel comfortable with. I think that's sort of the main point, that they're, yeah, they're over engineered way beyond what they need to do. So even even a sort of a breathing fuselage and a loose seat and what have you, really at the end of the day probably isn't a life-threatening thing, but it's certainly a comfort-threatening thing. Is that why they call the escape hatch? Yeah, exactly. I always laugh about these things in the 737 as emergency escape rope. In the ceiling above your head here, emergency escape rope. And you think, want to be a fucking long rope? Or do you actually just top yourself with it? I don't want to fasten my seatbelt again. It's just too hard. Bloody 5-point harness. Oh, the old self-slowing handle thing. Yeah, but I always think this emergency escape rope is just a noose. Inside the cockpit, and you hold it and jump down. Yeah, right. And yeah, I get you. A slightly more modern version of the emergency escape rope. Climb out the window and hold on. Yeah, the emergency escape rope is just a noose. You just have to get the co-pilot to kick the chair out from under your feet. Yeah, I think it does. I think it absolutely, literally needs you to hold on. Yeah, yeah, totally. It's like abseiling. Abseiling 101. Abseiling 737. Yeah, trying to climb that rope in the obstacle course. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we lose more pilots trying to climb out the window than we do in air crashes. Oh, raid time. Raiding. Raid time. New followers, we're getting raided. We're getting raided. Now I've got to lift my game. Yeah, thank you for following, everybody. I love getting raided. I absolutely love this raiding stuff. is that who I think it is? Aussie 68. Modbot doesn't like you. Rexy, I'm afraid Rexy, Modbot doesn't like you. Look, you're lucky I tamed the bot down lately. I don't know how many of you have seen this before. I'll just try and get that other camera on here. I don't know how many of you have seen this before, but see, we have a ban the bot t-shirt. There you go, ban the bot, see? So when people get kicked, we kind of suggest you order a ban the bot t-shirt from us. It's available in the merch tent, which we don't have yet. New South yeah, so long as it's not a raid for New South Wales Police. Yeah, good point. Or any authority looking after people drinking drinking on a 737 flight deck. Yeah, anyway, oh no, what am I doing on the map? Let me go back there. We don't even know actually where we're landing. That's the beauty of flying like this, is you don't need to know. Actually just jumped online, found a Captain Morgan excluded. Yeah, just jumped online and found a couple of people flying around in Brazil and kind of just ripped off their flight plan. What I'm going to do for now, I'm going to go heading select and buy myself a bit of time to descend. I just don't think I'm happy with this profile. I'm about 1,600 feet above the profile, but there's no one else online. There's no air traffic controllers online. So I guess I've got time to fiddle around a little bit. I'm loving this this view. I'm just going to turn around and face the sun a little bit. Isn't that nice? Can't see any other aircraft anywhere, so let's just follow the sun. That'd be a good title for a song. Okay, cool bananas. So just wanting to slow down a little bit more too. Still 30 miles from the beginning of the approach, really. Got to keep reminding myself the landing altitude's 2,450 feet. That's what I got to keep reminding myself of. But yeah, look, thanks for the follows, everyone. Yeah, we're loving picking up a few new followers just at the moment, because we're coming up to an event in about a month's time where we're going to be flying the sim around Australia. We're going to do every capital city in Australia plus the Red Centre, Alice Springs, and for some reason we're stopping in Cairns too. I'm not really 100% sure why we're doing that, but we are, and we're doing it as a fundraiser, like a charity thing, not a fundraiser for us. And yeah, so we're very pleased to have a few more followers just at the moment. Now, what are the chances that I'm going to stuff up this landing now with a few people watching? Please talk amongst yourselves. I feel like I'm under the pressure here if you're not talking to each other. So this guy can't land a plane. He'd land a plane if his life did. Well, it does. Hang on. Okay, I reckon that's almost enough of a downwind leg, don't you? Yeah, we're going to Cairns. Absolutely, we're stopping in Cairns. We're doing every capital city in Australia, and Cairns and Alice Springs. I think for some reason Cairns was just convenient. Grant did the flight planning, so they have to talk to him. But yeah, and plus Cairns is a nice airport to fly into and out of too, so it's scenic and marginally challenging. So yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm going to continue us slowing down and descending. Going to extend 1 degree of flat Baroonies, which will bring us down to about the 245 knot kind of region. Zoom in on that a little bit more for everybody. Not that much. So when that looks like a base leg, I'm going to go back to lateral navigation. Yeah, Cairns isn't the capital, and neither is Alice Springs. You have lived here for a while, haven't you, Ross? Captain Plod? Yeah, so that all the capitals, plus Cairns and Alice Springs. Passengers fastened. Landing lights on. Start switches continuous. Auto brakes 2. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. So what do we reckon? Do I start hand flying this in a minute or just go one more of those? We're not quite sort of at that sort of 90-degree base leg stage just yet. Well, wish me luck as you wave me goodbye, peeps. But yeah, please share this channel with your friends. Follow us. If you don't love us, share it with someone else who might. But yeah, we do have a bit of fun, and I'm going to go one more of those. Go back to lateral navigation and spin us around over there. Peel this speed off again. Thanks for the raid too, I might add. Yeah, greatly appreciate the old raiding. That's great. Great value. Cruising around in Brazil, eh? I'm hoping when we land, after we land, all I want to do is meet up with a complimentary Brazilian. So we're still about just shy of 20 miles from landing, I reckon. Yes, I saw that plot. I'm just leaving that where it sits. Now, I went past a hairdressing shop the other day and said complimentary Brazilian. I went in there and he said, "Oh, you're a very attractive man." No, he just said, "Oh, you're a very handsome man." I said, "Oh, thanks very much, mate." Complimentary Brazil. Like after I land, he'll just say, "You're a great pilot." Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for noticing. I thought that's what it was. That haircut's $18 and a complimentary Brazilian. It gives the $18 and you're a very good looking bloke. Dearie me. Got a million of them, Ross. I got a million of them. I'm here every Tuesday. Try the veal. Now I've got a question for everyone. If you've got an answer, you have to join us and tell us your answer next time. But if you died and went to heaven, right? You're wandering around in heaven, and you go, wow, that's buddy Adam and Eve right there. How you going? Everyone's naked. Everyone up there is naked. But you immediately, you see Adam and Eve and go, g'day, how you going? Wow, never thought I'd meet you guys. Alright, got that? Got that mental image? How the hell do you know that that's Adam and Eve you're talking to? You have to join the next feed and give us an answer to that. You'd have to seriously think about that one. How would I know that that is definitely them? Alright, I'll turn all this off and land this puppy, eh?
$2,500.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I'll put the terrain radar back on just to scare myself. Okay, we're going to panic camp, I think. Okay, so we're just over 10 mile now from landing. If anyone sees an airport, just sing out. Got to be one around here somewhere. And I'm seriously looking for it, like I'm not joking now, I'm starting to get a bit panicked. I'm actually starting, there you go, I think I can see an airport. So I'm about 8 mile, nearly 9 miles, 8.5 mile out. I usually like to be configured, like pretty much fully configured by about 10 mile out, but being a bit slack here. So there's no auto throttle, no autopilot, no nothing at the moment, and it's a unab approach anyway. Really understood totally. But I put the gear down now. We're at 10 degrees of flaps at the moment. The gear's going down. See this determined look on my face, like, holy shit. Got to remember, got to keep telling myself the landing altitude's 2,500 feet, so we're only 2,000 feet off the ground now. So we're already a little bit low there. You hear my phone ding, you can tell I'm going to ignore that. High now, but
1,000.
too worried about that really. Looking better.
400. 300. Minimums 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Forgot to arm the speed brake actually. Someone should have told me. But okay, too bad. Tiny little goat track runway somewhere in Brazil. Yeah, squeaky yoke, mate. It's so annoying. It's all real Boeing gear, real Boeing yoke, rudder pedals, you know, throttle quadrant, blah blah blah. But the linked yoke system underneath the sim is all engineered really, really well, but there's some bits of it that make that squeak, and it just drives me mad. And I get underneath there and try and lubricate it. I try and cover it up with bloody foam. It is just the most frustrating thing, that squeak. It drives me mad. Yeah, but I know all about the squeaky yoke, don't worry. It just absolutely drives me bonkers. But I had it fixed about, I don't know if you watched, about 6 or 8 weeks ago. I got underneath there with, like, you know, the old WD-40, that sort of thing, and just drenched everything, and it was fixed for a while, and now it's back. So, but it's a good point. It's a very good point you make. It's a pain in the ass. Anyway, so we're down. Seem to make that all right. I'm not going to bother taxiing to a gate, but I will shut the aircraft down to like a turnaround state. If you could be bothered watching that, you're more than welcome to join in, because I like to leave the aircraft, you know, in that sort of turnaround state next time I start it up. So I've started the APU already, and it's going. It's alive and well and living in Peru. So the APU bleed can go on. The yaw damper can go off. The lights are all sweet. Okay, the speed brakes down and detent, that's all sweet. Flaps are up. Auto brake is off. Parking brake set. Flight directors and auto throttles all off. Big engines can go off. They're all nicely shutting down, and we can unlock the punters and put the transponder to standby, and that'll do us when we're down into like a sort of a turnaround state for the next time we have a fly. So yeah, look, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and thank you for the raid. Greatly appreciate the raid. Yeah, so take care, guys, and I'm out of here. I've got to go and have the rest of Tuesday. But yeah, hopefully might even have a fly again tomorrow night, like our time. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But thank you very much again for the follows, particularly, and hope to see you all again. Okay, cheers.